Have you been researching Vitamix and Blendtec blenders and still aren't sure which one to get? Well, in this Vitamix versus Blendtec review, I'm going to go over everything you need to know to finally decide which blender brand is best for you. Hi, I'm Tara Shawn, founder of Blender Babes, and I have been testing and using every single model made by both Vitamix and Blendtec for over a decade. It's my mission to empower people to improve their mental, physical, and emotional health, and I believe a high-speed blender is an amazing tool to help with that. But the first step is picking a blender that fits your specific needs, lifestyle, and budget. So today, we are going to take a look at all the main differences between Vitamix and Blendtec in terms of price, noise, models, design, containers, cleaning, warranty, and of course, performance. I'll also include a few user tips so that when you do get the one you want, you'll be all ready to go. So stick around until the end or jump to the section that most interests you. Also, check out the description for some helpful links and exclusive discounts and offers just for my community. The first thing you probably notice when it comes to Vitamix and Blendtec is the sheer number of models that Vitamix has compared to Blendtec. With Blendtec, it's pretty simple because there's only a few options. There's the Professional 800 with sound enclosure, the Designer 650 and 650S, the Classic 575, and the Total Blender Classic. With Vitamix, there are 4 series of blenders: the Ascent series, Legacy series, Explorian series, and Propel series, and there's several models within each series. So often people get analysis paralysis when trying to figure out which Vitamix to buy. Luckily, I do have another video that goes over the 5 best Vitamix blenders and why. So if you decide that Vitamix is better for you, I will include a link to that in the description. The second thing we're going to talk about are design differences, including power, function, blade design, the lid, containers, and tamper. Blendtec is the pioneer of having pre-programmed automatic settings as well as a touchscreen. Every one of their models has program settings in addition to manual speeds, and they either use a push button or touchscreen. Since many people love these functions, over the years, Vitamix has also created several models that have automatic programs for the most popular blends, such as smoothies, soups, and frozen treats. Almost all of their blenders use dials and switches for functions. However, they do have a couple of touchscreen models with their Ascent series. One of the ways Blendtec is better than Vitamix is in terms of power, boasting a 3 peak horsepower motor compared to Vitamix models, which either have a 2 or 2.2 peak horsepower motor. Blendtec even has a model that has a 3.8 peak horsepower motor that has a sound enclosure, which we'll discuss a little bit later. That said, after over a decade of using and testing both of these blenders, the only real difference the extra power has on performance is how quickly it heats when making soup. For example, take Blendtec. 4.5 minutes while Vitamix takes 5 to 6 minutes to get a steaming hot soup. 2 horsepower is extremely powerful compared to a common kitchen blender, and that has all the power you need to blend anything, except maybe an iPhone or a rake handle, which only Blendtec can do. I've even had the pleasure of pulverizing this non-blender item in the small but mighty Blendtec Total Blender Classic model. If you're mostly blending smoothies and soups and want to completely pulverize all ingredients, more power is nice to have. However, one advantage Vitamix has with less power in its design is its ability for the blade to spin at lower revolutions per minute, or RPMs. All Vitamix models have 10 speeds and an RPM range from 500 to 37,000, while Blendtec has a minimum of 4,080 revolutions per minute. What that means for blending is lower RPMs provides more control over your blend, enabling you to achieve different textures with a variety of ingredients. Making mayonnaise, for example, requires a low speed or RPM. But as you can see right here, a Blendtec is making mayonnaise blending on speed 2. The blender tips here are: 1, having enough ingredients to cover the blade, so that means using a smaller jar if you have one. And 2, pouring the oil in through the lid plug really slowly. It's also pretty helpful to have the recipe instructions for these blenders, so I invite you to check out my Healthy Blender Recipes 9 ebook bundle for more than just smoothie recipes. Remember, almost all of your blends will use the highest speed, so just keep that in mind. An obvious difference between Blendtec and Vitamix is its blade design. Blendtec has a blunt 2-blade design, while Vitamix has more of a traditional 4-blade design. The Vitamix blade is not super sharp and is dull, but I have cut my finger while cleaning it when I wasn't careful. In contrast, the Blendtec blade is completely safe to touch when not blending, so there's no fear when it comes to reaching in there and cleaning the blade. Both Blendtec and Vitamix have lids with lips that securely fit onto the container. However, all Vitamix lids, no matter which model container, feel heavier and the lips clip more securely onto the container. The new Smart System Vitamix models even have a clear lid so that you can see through, which is nice. But what I really like with the Smart System models is the blender lid will actually snap onto the container, so you can feel and hear it that it's securely on, preventing any accidents, or as I like to call them, blender bloopers. Prior to my Smart System Vitamix Ascent model with this feature, on more than one occasion with both Blendtec and other Vitamix models, I ended up cleaning green stuff off the walls due to the lid flying off. So another tip is to be sure to only fill your blender with ingredients to the max fill line, and to wait for hot soups that start on the stove to cool down just a bit before pureeing. I could talk a lot about containers, so I'm going to go in depth in another video, but I'll give you the most important points here. When it comes to containers, one nice thing about Blendtec is that all available containers fit on all the different models. Due to their size sitting on the base, they will fit under most standard kitchen cabinets. You can also blend, mix, and grind almost everything in their wild side and four-side jars. However, I find it's much easier to blend small amounts and thick items such as nut butters and frozen desserts in their unique twister jar. I call it the complete setup with just the wild side and twister jar to be able to blend anything you want. Also, I always recommend their wild side jar over their four-side jar because it just blends better. The reason being their patented 5-sided design, which is what creates a powerful vortex that a tamper is typically not needed. More on that soon. With Vitamix, just like with their large number of blender models, all of their many container options can be a little bit confusing because certain containers only work with specific models. Luckily, Vitamix has taken the guesswork out on their website, so you can actually see which jars are compatible with each of their types of models. While most Vitamix blenders come standard with a 64-ounce low-profile container, this jar is best for medium and large batches. So if you want to blend smaller amounts, you will likely need a smaller jar. I recommend the 48-ounce jar, which can blend small and medium-sized blends. Vitamix does have several bundle options that include a 48-ounce jar, which offer a little bit of savings. There are a few Vitamix models that do come standard with a 48-ounce container instead of the 64-ounce. I recommend those options for singles, couples, and small spaces. There's also the 64-ounce tall container, which is an all-in-one jar that can blend small, medium, and large batches. But it doesn't fit under most kitchen counters and is more cumbersome to clean in a small sink. Vitamix does have a special dry grains container specifically for grinding dry goods. Although you can grind on occasion with their regular jars, if you plan to do a lot of grinding, you will want to get this container. One thing Vitamix has that Blendtec doesn't is a 48-ounce stainless steel container. So for those that are opposed to using BPA-free plastic jars, this is a great option. Check out my other video for more info and a demonstration on their stainless steel jar. For those that like personal size smoothies, both Blendtec and Vitamix also have smaller blend and go style containers. Finally, Vitamix does have more additional types of jars and attachments than Blendtec. They have their air disc container, which is great for muddling, foam, and whipping, perfect for entertaining. And this is compatible with all of their full-size models. They also have these little blending bowls, which are perfect for baby food, chopping herbs, and other very small blends. My favorite extra they have is their food processor attachment, which I use all the time. However, please note that the blending bowls and food processor attachment only work on their smart system blenders. Last but not least, all Blendtec containers are dishwasher safe. With Vitamix, many of their containers are dishwasher safe. However, some are not, so be sure to look at the product features on their website. Both brands do, however, recommend hand washing most of the time and only putting it in the dishwasher on occasion. Another noticeable difference between Vitamix and Blendtec is the tamper. Only Vitamix uses one, and every Vitamix blender container comes with its own perfectly sized patented tamper. The tamper fits through the top opening of the container lid to push solid foods back down into the blender blades for more uniform blending without having to stop the blender to move things around. The Vitamix tamper is not usually necessary, but is extremely helpful with ingredient-heavy green smoothies, making frozen treats, and thicker dishes such as nut butters or dips. Now, the Blendtec jar, blade design, and power is designed to create a vortex that pulls the ingredients down into the blade, therefore not requiring a tamper. Now, in most cases, this is true. However, there have been a few occasions where items got stuck and a tamper would solve the problem without having to stop the blender and move things around. There are several aftermarket tampers out there that are sold to be used with Blendtec. Instead of using a tamper, Blendtec invented their twister jar, which has long tines on the sides of the lid that you twist counterclockwise while blending, specifically to blend thick items that would usually require a tamper, such as nut butters and frozen desserts. For both Blendtec and Vitamix, their warranties vary in number of years depending on the model you get and whether you get a new versus refurbished blender. A new Blendtec Professional 800 blender with sound enclosure comes with a 10-year warranty. New Blendtec Designer blenders come with an 8-year warranty, and Blendtec Classic blenders come with a 2-year warranty. All certified refurbished Blendtec blenders come with a 1-year warranty. You do have an option to purchase an extended warranty with their new and refurbished Classic models. For Vitamix, new Vitamix Ascent Series blenders come with a 10-year warranty. Their Legacy blenders and Propel 750 come with a 7-year warranty. And Explorian Series and Propel 510 come with a 5-year warranty. Certified refurbished Vitamix Ascent Series and Legacy blenders come with a 5-year warranty, and refurbished Explorian and Propel Series blenders come with a 3-year warranty. You can purchase an extended warranty on their new blenders, except the Ascent Series, as well as reconditioned blenders. Both companies will pay for and send a return shipping label if a blender needs to be sent in for repair while under warranty. Now, where I think Vitamix has an advantage over Blendtec is in terms of their no-risk guarantee. If you get a Vitamix and decide within 60 days you just don't like it, Vitamix will give you a full refund and pay for return shipping. So there is zero cost or risk to try out one or more Vitamix models that you're interested in, so you can make sure to get the one you want. With Blendtec, you have 30 days to return the blender for a refund, minus shipping fees, and they do not pay for a return shipping label. Now, the biggest downside to purchasing either a Vitamix or a Blendtec blender is their initial cost. Vitamix blenders overall are more expensive than Blendtec, especially if you want or need to get additional containers. Expect to pay between $300 and $500 or more dollars. Thankfully, they both have low or no interest payment plan options. You can also wait for a good sale or take advantage of the many exclusive discounts that Blender Babes is able to offer our community. Just check out the links in the description. My question for you is, have you ever had a $100 blender break down on you? usually conveniently right after their 1-year warranty ends. By the time you buy several of these types of blenders, which typically don't blend as well to begin with, you will have spent as much on a good quality, high-speed blender. So I really want you to look at this purchase as an investment in your health. The only other major con besides price regarding Blendtec and Vitamix blenders is the noise they make. It's important to remember that most items are blended in approximately 1 minute, so they're not causing a racket for too long. If you're wondering which is quieter, Vitamix or Blendtec, the answer is, it depends on the model. However, if a quiet blender is very important to you, you'll want to seriously consider the Blendtec Pro 800 due to the sound enclosure, which really helps dampen the noise, and it's... Is
that a difference?
Why this type is used in smoothie shops. It's the Blendtec blender I have on my counter since I blend early in the morning and late at night, and also because my daughter is very sensitive to the noise. Every Blendtec and Vitamix blender, aside from those with the sound enclosure, are much louder when compared to a common low wattage kitchen blender. However, they're almost 5 times more powerful. The Blendtec Designer series and the Vitamix Ascent series are the quietest options compared to their other models without sound enclosures. Other than that, they're both equally noisy machines with only 1 to 2 decibel differences. The last thing I want to go over is performance between Vitamix and Blendtec blenders. Most Vitamix versus Blendtec videos you'll find online are blend-offs, showcasing each of these blenders making a green smoothie, crushing ice, or making ice cream. While these are fun to watch and to make, I do have an entire playlist on my YouTube you can check out. What I really want you to know is that both of these blender brands can blend all the things really well. Both make super smooth smoothies, both crush ice like a boss, and both can make ice cream and hot soup and grind grains. You might need an additional jar than what it comes with to make small portions like a salad dressing or baby food, or to blend thicker items like nut butter or frozen fruit sorbets. Therefore, my recommendation is to decide which of the things we discussed in this video are most important to you and align with your wants and needs. Remember, all blender purchases through Blender Babes include $50 or more in free gifts, including my 21-day Green Smoothie Challenge program and my top soup and ice cream recipe ebooks. Be sure to forward your purchase confirmation email to freegift@blenderbabes.com to redeem. Thank you so much for watching this video, and if you found it helpful, let me know by giving it a thumbs up and sharing in the comments what differences are most important for you. Feel free to ask questions there as well, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. I hope you have a beautiful day, and as always, happy blending.